The cold silence of deep space stretched endlessly, punctuated only by the soft hum of advanced technology aboard the Celestial Guardian's primary reconnaissance vessel. Commander Hana Kim stood motionless, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display that flickered with urgent warning signals. The human colony on Epsilon 9 was under direct attack, its protective shields rapidly deteriorating against an overwhelming assault. Crimson swarm ships moved with mechanical precision, their metallic bodies gleaming like razor-sharp blades against the darkness of space. Each vessel represented a calculated threat, programmed for total destruction. The colony's distress beacon pulsed desperately, sending out waves of panic and hope simultaneously. Hana's fingers traced the communication interface. Regulations were clear. No direct intervention in external planetary conflicts. Her species had strict non-engagement protocols that had existed for thousands of solar cycles. One wrong move could trigger interstellar diplomatic catastrophe. But something was different this time. The holographic display showed human defenders, small, seemingly fragile beings, fighting with unexpected determination. Military drones and ground units fought against impossible odds, their weapons barely making a dent in the Crimson Swarm's advanced technological armor. A young human fighter pilot named Elena Rodriguez caught Hana's attention. Despite her damaged fighter craft, she continued executing complex, evasive maneuvers, protecting civilian evacuation ships. Her tactical decisions were unconventional, almost chaotic, yet remarkably effective. Tactical analysis. Hana commanded her ship's artificial intelligence. The AI's calm voice responded, probability of human survival, 7.3%. Recommended action, maintain observation protocol. Hana's heartbeat increased. The AI's cold calculation felt wrong. These humans weren't just statistics. They were fighting. They were surviving. Her hand hovered over the intervention command. One touch would violate every diplomatic agreement her species had established. Career suicide, potential, exile, complete professional destruction. The colony's primary defense grid collapsed. Thousands of civilian life signs began blinking rapidly, signaling imminent extinction. Override, Hana whispered. Her vessel's quantum drives hummed to life, generating power levels that hadn't been used in generations. Advanced shield technologies activated, creating a protective barrier unlike anything the Crimson Swarm had encountered. The first wave of alien attackers suddenly found themselves confronted by a technology that defied their computational predictions. Hana's ship moved with liquid grace, intercepting incoming projectiles and returning devastating counterstrikes. Elena Rodriguez, witnessing this unexpected intervention, could barely comprehend the alien vessel's capabilities. Her damaged fighter spun wildly, barely maintaining structural integrity. Unknown vessel, this is Human Defense Force, she transmitted, her voice a mixture of desperation and hope. Identify yourself. Hana's communication systems translated and responded, Celestial Guardian Commander Hana Kim, initiating defensive protocols. The battle transformed from potential genocide to a complex dance of technological warfare. Hana's ship moved like a living entity, predicting and countering Crimson Swarm attack patterns with millisecond precision. Plasma cannons erupted in brilliant blue-white explosions. Quantum disruption fields created momentary rifts in spatial geometry. The Crimson Swarm's perfect formations began to fracture. Beneath the spectacular space battle, human ground forces watched in awe. Their previous moments of certain defeat transformed into unexpected hope. Jay Park, the colony's chief tactical coordinator, watched the alien vessel's movements. Every maneuver seemed to defy known physics, every strike calculated with impossible precision. Who are they? He muttered, watching the holographic battlefield representation. As quickly as it began, the battle reached its critical moment. Hana's vessel generated a massive energy pulse that systematically disabled the Crimson Swarm's primary command ships. Without central coordination, the mechanical attackers became confused, their collective intelligence fragmenting. Destruction reigned across the star system. Alien vessels tumbled into silent oblivion. The human colony, moments away from total annihilation, now breathed a collective sigh of relief. Commander Hana Kim had made her choice. She had violated every regulation. She had risked everything, and she would do it again. As her ship's systems began damage assessment protocols, Hana knew nothing would ever be the same. Not for her, not for the humans, not for the galaxy. First contact had just been redefined. The landing craft descended through layers of smoke and debris, its sleek metallic hull barely visible against the devastated landscape. Commander Hana Kim watched through reinforced viewports as the ground crew struggled to maintain order in the wake of the recent battle. Jay Park stood at the colony's primary defense station, his hands still shaking from the near-total destruction. The alien vessel that had saved them now prepared to make physical contact. Protocols were meaningless. Survival was everything. Dust and ash swirled around the landing site. Broken defense systems and scattered wreckage told the story of how close they had come to total extinction. Survivors moved with a mixture of caution and desperate hope. The landing craft's external speakers crackled to life. A voice, both mechanical and strangely warm, spoke in perfect human language. Preparing ground-level communication protocols, requesting minimal defensive posture. Jay's team tensed. Weapons remained half-raised, fingers hovering near trigger mechanisms. Trust did not come easily after such a violent encounter. When the craft's door opened, nothing could have prepared them for Commander Hana Kim's appearance. She was neither tall nor imposing, but something in her presence demanded attention. Her uniform suggested military precision, but her eyes revealed something more, a complexity that defied simple categorization. "I am Hana Kim," she announced, stepping onto the broken ground. "Celestial Guardian Commander, Primary Diplomatic. Intervention Unit." A young medical officer named David Chen stepped forward. His radiation detector clicked softly, measuring unknown energy signatures surrounding the alien commander. Normal scanning protocols revealed nothing. She was both familiar and completely alien. "You saved us," David spoke, his voice a mixture of gratitude and suspicion. Hana's translation device converted her response into smooth human language. "Survival requires unexpected actions. Your colony demonstrated remarkable resistance potential." The first moments were tense. Humans had dreamed of alien contact for generations, but nobody had imagined it would happen like this, in the middle of a battlefield, surrounded by destruction. Jay Park approached, military training evident in every calculated step. "We need to understand your intentions," he said firmly. Hana's eyes studied him, not as a threat, but as a complex mathematical problem waiting to be solved. She recognized leadership when she saw it. Humans were fascinating creatures, emotional, unpredictable, yet remarkably adaptable. "Your tactical coordinator," she said, looking directly at Jay. "You made difficult decisions under extreme pressure. A subtle compliment, a bridge of communication." The colony survivors watched carefully. Some still held weapons. Others looked with pure wonder. An alien had just saved their entire civilization, and nobody knew exactly why. Medical teams began, treating wounded fighters. Elena Rodriguez, the pilot who had caught Hana's attention during the battle, sat with a bandaged arm. Her eyes never left the alien commander. "We have questions," Elena said, her voice firm despite her injuries. Hana approached, her movements calculated yet surprisingly fluid. "Questions are the beginning of understanding," she responded. The first real conversation between humans and the Celestial Guardians began not with diplomatic speeches, but with simple human curiosity and an alien's unexpected compassion. Overhead, rescue shuttles continued collecting survivors. The landscape was a canvas of destruction and hope. Broken systems mixed with unexpected salvation. Jay noticed something unexpected in Hana's behavior. She wasn't just observing, she was learning. Every human interaction was processed, analyzed, understood. "We need to discuss the Crimson Swarm," Jay said carefully. Hana's response came quickly. "They will return. Preparation is necessary." No promises, no false comfort, just a simple statement of potential future conflict. As sunlight broke through the smoke-filled sky, something fundamental had changed. First contact was no longer a theoretical concept. It was happening right here, right now, on this broken battlefield. Humans and alien. Survival and curiosity. Fear and hope. The rescue had only just begun. The research facility hummed with quiet intensity. Hana Kim stood beside Jay Park, analyzing complex holographic data streams that danced between human and alien technological systems. Cultural differences threatened to create invisible barriers, but both were determined to find common ground. Emotion complicates calculation, Hana observed, her translation device converting her thoughts into precise human language. Jay smiled slightly. Emotion is calculation for humans. It's how we survive. Days turned into weeks. The initial rescue had transformed into something more complex, a mutual exploration of understanding. Human researchers worked alongside Hana's technical teams, discovering unexpected connections between their technological approaches. Elena Rodriguez had become a primary communication bridge. Her experience as a fighter pilot gave her a unique perspective on interspecies interaction. She watched Hana carefully, noting how the alien commander processed information differently from humans. Your brain doesn't just calculate, Elena said during one research session. It seems to predict. Hana's response was characteristic of her analytical nature. Prediction is advanced computational probability. Your species calls it intuition. The facility became a melting pot of human curiosity and alien precision. David Chen, the medical officer, discovered fascinating biological similarities between humans and celestial guardians. Genetic markers suggested distant evolutionary connections that defied current scientific understanding. Jay developed tactical training modules with Hana. Her advanced strategic algorithms combined with human unpredictability created something entirely new. Traditional military thinking gave way to hybrid approaches that challenged existing combat doctrines. One evening, during a rare moment of informal interaction, Jay asked a personal question. Why did you save us? Your regulations clearly prohibited direct intervention. Hana paused. Her computational brain processed multiple response scenarios before selecting the most honest approach. Your collective potential exceeded statistical expectations. Survival is not just about numbers. The statement revealed more than she likely intended. Humans were more than data points to her now. Cultural exchange happened in unexpected moments. Hana learned human humor, a complex system of emotional communication that initially confused her computational thinking. Jay taught her about human concepts like friendship and loyalty, ideas that went beyond logical cooperation. We're teaching each other, Elena observed during a strategy meeting. Not just technology, something deeper. Research teams discovered that Hana's species had been observing humans for generations. The Crimson Swarm attack had simply accelerated a process of potential interaction that had been slowly developing. Technical barriers began breaking down. Human researchers integrated alien technology into their defense systems. Hana's teams learned to incorporate human emotional intelligence into their computational models. Your randomness is your strength, Hana told Jay during one strategy session. Where our systems predict, yours create unexpected solutions. The research facility became more than a scientific location. It transformed into a symbol of potential, proof that different species could not just coexist but truly understand each other. Nights were filled with complex discussions. Days involved intense technological and cultural exchanges. The boundary between human and alien began to blur. David Chen's medical research revealed something profound. The human capacity for adaptation exceeded any known biological system. Where other species would collapse, humans found ways to survive, to grow, to transform. You're not just studying us, Jay realized during one late-night conversation. You're learning from us. Hana's response was characteristically direct. Learning is survival. The bridge of understanding was under construction, not through diplomatic speeches or official protocols, but through daily interactions, shared challenges, and mutual respect. Outside the facility, preparations continued for potential future Crimson Swarm attacks. But inside, something more important was happening. Two species were discovering that understanding was the most powerful weapon in any universe. Humans and celestial guardians were no longer just potential allies. They were becoming something else entirely, a new kind of collective intelligence that defied traditional boundaries. The bridge was forming, one moment of understanding at a time. The first warning came as a distant vibration. Sensors across the human colony detected massive energy signatures approaching from the outer solar system. Crimson Swarm was returning, and this time, they would not be unprepared. Commander Hana Kim stood beside Jay Park in the Central Command Center. Holographic displays showed incoming threat vectors, thousands of mechanical attack vessels forming a perfect geometric invasion pattern. Where previous encounters would have meant certain destruction, now something different awaited. "They're predictable," Jay said, his fingers dancing across tactical interfaces. Hana's translation systems captured the subtle confidence in his voice. Humans had transformed their defensive capabilities, integrating alien technologies with their own unpredictable tactical approaches. Elena Rodriguez led the first wave of hybrid defense squadrons. Her fighter craft now carried quantum disruption systems developed through collaborative research with Hana's technical teams. Each vessel represented a perfect blend of human creativity and alien precision. Incoming primary assault wave, the central computer announced. The first Crimson Swarm ships encountered something they had never experienced before. Human-alien hybrid defense systems created complex interference patterns that disrupted their central computational networks. Where machines expected perfect mathematical responses, they found chaos. David Chen's medical team had developed advanced nano-regenerative systems that could instantly repair combat damage. Fighter pilots could now sustain injuries that would have been fatal weeks earlier. Hana's computational brain worked in perfect synchronization with Jay's tactical intuition. They weren't just commanding, they were predicting, adapting, transforming the entire battlefield in real time. "Target secondary command clusters," Hana suggested. Jay's response was immediate. Squadrons of fighters moved with liquid precision, attacking exactly where the Crimson Swarm least expected. The battle became a complex dance of technology and strategy. Mechanical precision met human unpredictability. Every Crimson Swarm computational prediction failed against the hybrid human-alien defense systems. "They cannot understand us," Hana observed, watching attack patterns collapse. Massive energy weapons fired from orbital platforms. Quantum disruption fields created temporary spatial anomalies. Fighter squadrons moved like living organisms, adapting faster than any mechanical system could process. Elena Rodriguez's voice crackled through communication channels. "Primary invasion vectors compromised. They're breaking formation." Jay watched the holographic display transform. What had once been a perfect geometric invasion pattern now looked like scattered mechanical debris. Hours of continuous combat reduced the Crimson Swarm's invasion force by 70%. Where previous encounters would have destroyed entire human colonies, now they fought with unprecedented effectiveness. "We are not just defending," Hana told Jay during a critical moment. "We are evolving." The final assault came as a concentrated energy burst from the Crimson Swarm's primary command vessel. Sensors detected enough destructive potential to obliterate entire planetary regions. But humans and their alien allies were ready. A combined energy shield, created from human technological creativity and alien computational precision, absorbed the massive attack. The shield didn't just block the energy, it redirected and dissipated it across multiple dimensional frequencies. Crimson Swarm's primary command vessel suddenly went dark, its complex mechanical systems overwhelmed by an approach they could not mathematically predict. Silence followed the intense battle. Jay looked at Hana. She looked back. No words were necessary. They had done something unprecedented, not just survived, but transformed the very nature of interstellar conflict. "We changed the equation," Jay said quietly. Hana's response carried a hint of what humans might call pride. Survival is not about strength, it's about adaptation. Across the colony, survivors celebrated. But something more significant had happened. Humans had proven they were more than just another species waiting for extinction. They were evolution in motion. The Galactic Council chamber felt different this time. Cold metallic walls that once represented rigid bureaucratic structures now seemed to vibrate with anticipation. Commander Hana Kim stood perfectly still, her presence both alien and familiar. Beside her, Jay Park represented humanity, not as a conquered species, but as an equal participant. Diplomatic representatives from 17 different star systems watched carefully. The human celestial guardian collaborative defense against the Crimson Swarm had changed everything. What was once considered impossible now felt inevitable. Humanity demonstrates capabilities beyond standard evolutionary models, Hana announced, her translation systems converting her precise language into diplomatic communication. The elder, representatives from advanced civilizations shifted uncomfortably. Humans were not supposed to be a significant galactic species. They were supposed to be another potential extinction statistic. Instead, they had become something else entirely. Elena Rodriguez sat in the observation deck, her fighter pilot uniform, a statement of resistance and transformation. She represented the new generation, those who had fought, survived, and reimagined potential. David Chen's research data displayed behind Hana, showing complex biological and technological adaptations that defied traditional scientific understanding. Humans were not just surviving, they were actively evolving at an unprecedented rate. "We propose full collaborative integration," Jay said, his voice calm and confident. Centuries of diplomatic protocols trembled. A species that had been barely noticed was now demanding recognition. Not through military conquest, but through demonstrated capabilities. The quantum diplomatic interface recorded every moment. Future generations would study this precise instant when everything changed. Hana's computational systems analyzed multiple potential response scenarios. Her connection with human tactical thinking had transformed her own decision-making processes. She no longer saw pure mathematical predictions, but potential collaborative outcomes. "Humanity is not just a species," she continued. "They are a living technological adaptation." Whispers spread through the council chamber. Some representatives looked confused. Others looked genuinely terrified. Humans had gone from a potential extinction target to a significant galactic force in less than 2 solar cycles. Their ability to integrate alien technologies, their emotional resilience, their unexpected tactical creativity, all challenged existing galactic political structures. The elder representatives requested additional data streams. They wanted to understand how a species could transform so rapidly. David Chen's research provided answers. Human genetic structures contained unique adaptive capabilities. Where other species remained static, humans rewrote their own biological and technological potential continuously. "We are not asking for permission," Jay said quietly. "We are announcing our arrival." Elena Rodriguez watched from the observation deck. Her journey from a fighter pilot defending a colony to a representative of human potential felt like a dream. But this was real. Hana's computational systems detected multiple emotional responses from the council members. Fear, curiosity, respect, confusion. Humans had introduced something entirely new. An emotional complexity that traditional diplomatic systems could not easily process. The Galactic Council's decision would take standard time units to process. But everyone understood something fundamental had changed. Humanity was no longer waiting to be discovered. They were doing the discovering. "We offer collaboration," Hana continued. "Not conquest, not submission, pure potential." Outside the council chambers, human and celestial guardian research teams continued their work. They were building something beyond traditional understanding, a new way of existing, of thinking, of evolving. Jay looked at Hana. She looked back. No words were necessary. They had transformed from potential enemies to something more complex. Collaborative architects of a new galactic potential. The old systems were crumbling. New horizons were emerging. Humanity had arrived, not with weapons, not with demands, but with an invitation to reimagine everything.